Besides his association with IISc, Professor D.D. Sharma has also been associated with several other institutes, the most notable of which is the Uppsala University at Sweden. I invite Professor Olof Charlie Karis to come to stage and make his remarks. Professor Karis has been a collaborator and a close friend of D.D. Professor Karis, please.
So, D.D., Abba, thank you for having me here. It's a fantastic pleasure to have a celebration in front of all of your friends like this. I can't imagine what an extraordinary feeling it must be. Every time I meet someone and we talk about you, they always describe this very warm person. You really develop a very strong, friendly relationship almost instantly with you, and that is so remarkable. And I don't know anyone like you in that respect. And I think that's why we're all here, why there are so many here with that feeling. But then again, we just heard Sharda that there are other faces. And actually, I think in Uppsala we see a face that very few of you have seen, and that is the very serious D.D. You see, here he is at the very normal workday meeting in Uppsala with his colleagues. Uppsala is a great place, but it's not always fun. So people tend to be a little more serious in Uppsala. And you also appreciate that D.D. has to sort of fall into the spirit of Uppsala University, and that's why he has a face that very few of you have seen so far. So here he is on his way to work on a very normal work day. He's accompanied by 2 students from Uppsala. Uppsala, you don't realize that, but Uppsala is actually a very tough place. So you don't come to work unless you are heavily guarded with real artillery. So it is not easy, and you also appreciate that it's a tough place because you really have to put on some clothes. When I first came out on an early morning in Bangalore, and it was 20 degrees, and the people out, they were wearing woolen hats and coats, I was a little bit afraid when D.D. was coming to Uppsala, really to have temperatures below 0, and you're used to like 15, that is extreme winter, that could be a challenge. But so far, I think we have managed to keep you alive, and we intend to do so, even in the future. So here he is at another regular occasion. We are just enjoying a glass of champagne, as we normally do in the afternoon after a good day's work. That is a strong tradition as we have. However, this is our working uniform, as you see, and when we do more casual work, I realized that D.D. is actually missing a tie, so I brought you an Uppsala University tie, at least to begin with. So next time we do something informal, I expect you to wear the tie at least. When we're doing regular work, the tuxedo will still continue to do, so that's fine. So there are things that I think primarily you and I share, and I had to bring you some of that also. So this is, actually I think it's the first winter trip to Sweden, and of course you have to give your guests an experience that they haven't had before. So I think this is D.D.'s first downhill experience, documented on video. That was not D.D. D.D. is coming very soon now. You will see him cruise down the slope. Here he comes. And all of a sudden, there are some obstacles in the slope, which is kind of disturbing. So at this point, we are a little bit afraid what will happen. But he managed to stay away. And there is the end of the slope, and how does Didi react? Yeah! Good job. I think that was excellent. You managed to stay on your feet, or rather on your skis, actually. So somehow we talk about physics, and we also talk about feeling good in general. And this is part of feeling good, it turns out. So I will tell you a little story. So Didi had an issue with a shoulder. So when he comes to Uppsala, I always give him free passes to our university gym. And since he had this issue, so I told him that I had the perfect exercise for his shoulder issue. And Didi asked me, so how much weight should I use? And I said, just take something very light, because you shouldn't overdo it. You want to strengthen your shoulder. So do 10 kilos. And when we meet for dinner in the evening, I noticed that there is something wrong. So he's not happy. And then he says, you're not kind, you're cruel. And I don't understand a thing. And then he says, well, you know, you told me do something light, 10 kilos, and 10 kilos turns out to be impossible to lift. So I think that is a good indication of your friendship. I have put you through skiing. I've given you weights that are impossible to lift. And still, you remain my friend, so that is a fantastic indication of devotion to a friendship, I think. So, with that, I want to bring the best congratulations from all of us in Uppsala. I have to give you a few things to prepare you for your next trip. So that is, we have a good hoodie that will keep you warm, Uppsala University hoodie. And then I found a book, actually, that I first thought was from a book about Didi, but then it turned out to be about Linnaeus. The title was Genius of Uppsala. So Didi, thanks a lot and congratulations.
Thank you, Professor Karis.